A few people have asked me to sort of document how I make my videos, and it's not very complicated, so this won't be a very long video. But the short answer is that I wanted a solution that was super lightweight and caused a minimum disruption to my fishing. I think that's crucial, you know, because I'm not going out to make videos, I'm going out to fish basically. So over the years, the exact precise details have changed a bit. I'm currently using, for example, in this shot, one of the DJI Action 5 cameras. The pictures out of it are nowhere near as good as my GoPros, but the one advantage with it is that this here personal microphone can attach directly to the DJI camera, and that gives me effectively not quite a waterproof solution, because the microphone that's on me here, that's pinned on me, isn't waterproof, but at least the camera is waterproof when I'm using external mics. And that for me was a big problem with the GoPro cameras, that to attach an external mic, you turn the camera into something that, well, it wasn't just not waterproof. If it saw a cloud, it just crashed and died, you know. So in terms of sound, I tend to record mono on this mic on my chest for the speech, and then I record wild track, which is to say the stereo atmos. And I do this in the most primitive way. These microphones are omnidirectional, so you can use them as a spaced pair. And I carry a small aluminium bar, super lightweight, on a GoPro buckle that I put onto the same sort of, I don't know what you call it, clip or grip thing, that I use to mount my cameras on my stick, and I'll explain that in a minute or two. And I then just record some stereo. The bar isn't really long enough to get good omni type space pair stereo, but when it's only for Atmos, I sort of get away with it. The other advantage, obviously, with having a mic clipped to your chest is that you tend to fish with your back, well, on fly fishing, you know, with your back approximately to the wind, so it helps to reduce wind noise. Now today, I'm just using the wee tiny sort of windsocky things that come with the mics, but I have a better solution using bigger windsocky things that sort of go over the end of the mics on my bar, and this produces a very useful sort of reduction in wind noise. But by recording wild track effectively, it means I can add a bit of stereo width to the videos, which adds a bit more feel to them. And of course I can, you know, I'm sitting here beside this wee river, but I could easily add a bit of strong wind to the video, or whatever suited me really, you know, if I should so wish. Though I tend to record the Atmos everywhere I go, so the Atmos that you get tends to be Atmos recorded on the day for real, if you know what I mean. So that's how I do the sound, and in a minute or two I'll demonstrate how I do the video, which is pretty simple, couldn't be any easier. I'm also demonstrating how I drink tea. So I've got the flies tied on here, and I'll make the adjustments. There we go. So what I've got is one camera on my stick. I almost always carry my stick for walking, because when you're walking on the moor, it's a really handy thing. And again, I wanted to keep weight down. So I have this camera here, as you can see, just literally onto my stick with a GoPro kind of grabby attachment-y thing. I don't know what it's called. And then I have a camera on my chest, and you can maybe see that if I cut up the GoPro. And it is as simple as that. I sync them up with a hand clap, which I've already done. And then I cast out. And I basically can cut between the two cameras as suits me. So I cast out like this, and I do my fishing, and I cut between the two cameras depending on pretty much how I feel. Now, I also carry like a power bank and the battery chargers for the 2 cameras. So what I do is I have a battery charging, or well, several batteries charging off the power bank. I'm catching around the bank here. See? There we go. Yeah, so I have several batteries charging off the power bank while I'm fishing. And then, of course, once this battery in this camera or that battery in that camera starts looking a bit low, I just change them and put the ones I've just taken out on the charge. And it is literally as simple as that. There's really not much extra thought given to it. I edit in a software called DaVinci Resolve, which you can get free of charge, and which is basically a fully featured professional editor. Now, this does mean that the learning curve can be a wee bit steep, but there are lots of videos on YouTube demonstrating how to use it. And basically, you can probably learn the basics in 20 minutes or half an hour by watching one of these videos. And once you've got the basics, you're good to go. And like I said, it's free, just download it. Oh, there a wee fish moved. Yeah, just download the software and get editing. And like I say, there will be a learning curve with the editing. It's because it is such a fully featured editor. But there is nothing that any normal person needs to do that the free version of DaVinci Resolve doesn't do, pretty much. I mean, it's designed to be used in sort of by professional editors, and the paid for version has features to allow things like team working and stuff like that, you know. So this is how I make the fishing videos. It's as simple as that. 2 cameras, one on a stick out there, fish rows out there as well, one on a stick, one on my chest. And the other thing I should say is I prefer the camera on the chest, because there are some people who put a camera on their head, but your head moves about too much, in my view, and the video you get would make you seasick. That's my personal opinion. Other people may have other views, but your chest's just a wee bit more stable. I also use horizon balancing or horizon leveling or whatever they call it on the cameras to try and keep the horizons a wee bit level. And it's obviously only more recent cameras that offer that feature. So some years back when I first started, I wasn't doing that. But it is a feature that I think works really well. There's that fish rising again. Do you see him? And he's not having my flea. This wasn't intended to be the fishing part of the day. This was intended to be the talking about cameras part of the day. So I don't know how that works. Well, he's not for having my flea. That's all I can say. So I think I've covered everything. I think that's all you need to know. So now I'm going to go sort myself out, go along the bank and do some fishing, and hopefully I'll make a wee fishing video as well.